Welcome back to Nerd Safari. I'm Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And if you enjoy this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. And today we are in the car and we are very excited. Why are we very excited?
Today we are going to the X-Men's mansion.
To the X-Men's mansion. And what are we going to do at the X-Men's mansion?
Training.
And what does that training entail?
We don't know.
We have absolutely no idea, but we are in a secret location in upstate New York, and any minute now we are going to be picked up by a nondescript transport vehicle driven by the Friends of the X-Men, and they've told us we're allowed to film this experience. So let's go find out what this X-Men mansion is all about.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness, we just got back from the most amazing experience. So I think rather than giving you a traditional review of like so many stars for this and so many stars for that, we're just going to tell you a little bit about the experience without spoiling anything, hopefully. So let's start. So we arrived at the X Mansion. What were your impressions of the building, and particularly like the way the building was painted and decorated?
I was really impressed as we drove up. It is in an existing house, so it's something that already existed. So that meant that there was already, because it was a fancy house, a long sweeping driveway. And so that we did the circuitous route around the land. And then we like drove up and we just saw this house rising up of this hill. And it was just so impressive. And we weren't sure when we were first looking at pictures, like how are they going to do this? Like, is this AI? Because it's a very specific style. But we drove up to this house and it looks like the amazing, like cell shaded, like pen and ink. They've just put so much detail on the outside of the house. It was incredible.
Yeah, you're right. So when we applied for the Airbnb experience, and we did have to apply, we looked at the images and both of us said, this can't be real. Like, this looks like someone has just created some kind of realistic comic book style art. But we were there. It was genuinely real. And like the white columns, I mean, the house kind of looked a bit like the White House or something. It was a legit mansion, but the columns had almost like pen lines down them, like black pen lines or pencil lines to make it look like real comic book art. We were met by the Friends of the X-Men. Oh my goodness. Like, what, I mean, just what nice people, just genuinely nice people who really wanted us to have a fantastic experience. And like already it was blowing my mind that somebody has bought an actual mansion or rented an actual mansion, made it look like the X-Men mansion, and then there's like a dozen employees, more employees than there were like tourists going through the experience like us, who genuinely cared and were in character the whole time. So yeah, so the Friends of the X-Men were fantastic. We were greeted and shown into the building where we put on grippy socks because the floor is decorated in as amazing detail as the rest, and they didn't want people clumping around in big boots around the floor. So we're in our grippy socks. Then our first experience was in Beast's lab. Now, without spoiling anything, what did you think of the Beast's lab experience?
I wasn't sure what to expect because we read the Airbnb description of each of these, and so I was trying to think, what could this possibly be? So I thought, well, it sounds a bit, I don't know, like this. It sounds like something aimed at kids, maybe mixing potions. Like, okay, but like we're happy to go along with it. But with all of the people who are working there being fully in character, that they knew so much about the X-Men, and there's just so much banter, and like they're asking us questions and they're telling us fun facts, and like as we're going through this mixing class, they're kind of like peppering in all these little facts about the X-Men and about the stuff we're mixing, and like asking us science questions because we're in the science lab, and then just telling like fun stories about how we have to be careful, like not to spill anything on Beast's bed or he'd get really mad at us. And there were just like really fun, like cute things like that. It was one of the things that I maybe wasn't as excited about as some of the others, but it was just so sweet and fun, and it was made sweet and fun by the person leading the class.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, essentially a mixology class could have been kind of boring and could have been a boring way to start our tour of the X-Mansion, really was not. Was so fun purely because of the cast member who was so committed to her role and just committed to making sure we had a great time. So loved Beast's Lab. So from Beast's Lab, we then went into the War Room, which is the room with Cerebro, and this is where the X-Men hatch their plans to go fight the bad guys. And this was another one. I mean, in essence, it was something of a trivia quiz. It was a very cool, immersive trivia quiz. But I'd just been rewatching the original X-Men animated show, so I knew a lot of the answers. And I could have just been, yeah, it's A, it's D, it's whatever. And it would have been boring. But the way they conducted it was much more, hey, let's have a conversation around these. Like, who's more important to the fate of the future planet? Is it Henry Gyrick? Is it Senator Kelly? So, like, much more, even if you knew a lot about the X-Men lore and backstory, as I did from just, cheating and doing my homework recently, it was still a really, and oh my goodness, like the level of attention to detail in the War Room was amazing. And putting on Cerebro as a helmet, the thing weighed a lot. Like you felt like you literally had the weight of humankind on your shoulders. Unbelievable. So then we went from the War Room into, actually, first of all, into the Ready Room, which was essentially like a locker room for the X-Men. And there was a little shrine to an X-Man who is no longer with us.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but it was very sad. There was a sad moment in the Ready Room. And, like, again, the employees treated it with a lot of weight. Like, there was a lot of gravity. We had a moment of sadness, a moment of silence for the sadness of this X-Men who is no longer with us. So from there, we went from the Ready Room to the classroom. We did the War Room, the Ready Room, the classroom. The classroom, we literally had to take a quiz, and that quiz was in the form of a scavenger hunt. And this was the first moment we got to... Well, first of all, I mean, the classroom. Amazing to be in Charles Xavier's classroom, and yet with some Magneto memorabilia scattered around. And if you've seen X-Men 97, you know why. But then we get to go upstairs. Now, just lead us through your thoughts as you walked up those stairs and started poking around in X-Men's bedrooms.
It was amazing. It was a little bit intimidating because you're walking up this amazing sweeping staircase. And again, the art style, making it look like comic book art, like cel-shaded art, is fully immersive. There is no area in this entire house that you have access to that isn't like 100%. It looks cel-shaded. It's just incredible. So you're walking up this staircase that looks like it has just been copied and pasted from the cartoon. And then you walk up and there's just this corridor of doors, and you're aware that some of them you can't get into, others you can. There was one that had a big sign on that no spoilers. And so you're kind of like wanting to try doors. And I was genuinely concerned that I might walk into someone's bedroom and like I might be in trouble.
Right, you might see Jubilee in the middle
of it. It's that immersive.
Yeah. Yes. And so the bedrooms we looked at, Jubilee's bedroom was... So, I mean, again, the level of attention to detail, the level of immersion, they just went the extra mile with Jubilee's bedroom. It was fantastic. The other one that struck me was Logan's bedroom, Wolverine's bedroom himself. And you had everything from his weight bench. He had an alarm clock that he trashed with his claws. You had that picture of Scott and Jean that I just had to recreate a meme on. Here's me doing my silly Wolverine meme. But I absolutely loved just hanging out in the bedrooms. But we were on the clock, and the scavenger hunt was really hard. However, your favorite host won the prize, and we're not even going to tell you what it is, but it was a really good prize. Honestly, this prize is probably more valuable than the price of admission. Yeah, we'll get to value for money later because it is insane. So, we won the prize in this scavenger hunt for the classroom.
It was a close call.
It was a very close call. Then, our last experience of the day, we head to the Danger Room of all places. And, I mean, let's talk. So the Danger Room, I really felt in my element. You seem not to, not to necessarily feel like the danger room was your thing, but tell us about the danger room, starting from the look of the place through to what we did there.
It was amazing again, the same as with everything else. It was fully immersive. So you're in like this enclosed room. You've got these like amazing stylized metal walls. You've got those like laser gun turrets. Like there's some on the floor. There's some hung from the ceiling. There's like some freestanding. You've got like saw blades coming out the wall. There was a viewing window behind us where you could see like the silhouette of Cyclops overseeing everything. There's like flashing lights everywhere. And like there's grid marks on the floor so you can help with your fighting style. But I think going back to your point of me not feeling quite as comfortable, I have had some martial arts training, but not as much as you have. And I feel like it was really, really good in that it made it very entry level for people like me. There was also an acknowledgement of people who were maybe slightly less struggle bus, who who took to it a bit more naturally and fluidly than I did, but which is fine. I still felt everyone, like from this spectrum of skill levels, I felt included. I didn't feel like I couldn't do it. I felt like I was welcome. Like the person leading us, no spoilers, was really supportive and encouraging, even when I was having a tough time. And he was acknowledging like that when you had great form, he was acknowledging that. And it was very entry level. It wasn't like high intensity impact. You dress comfortably, but like don't feel like you have to wear athletic gear.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing, but it was just really, really fun. And at the end of it, I really felt like I'd accomplished something. I was a little bit sweaty. If anyone's worried about your hair, anything like that, it is an enclosed room with no windows, so it is a little bit humid in there, but like my hair is fine, so don't worry too much about getting sweaty. But I really felt like I'd accomplished something after that class.
Yeah, your hair is fine, girl. A slay. But no, I agree. Like you said, I've done some martial arts training, a fair amount over my life. But the purpose of the Danger Room was not a martial arts dojo. It was to teach you three things. So it taught you your superhero pose. It taught you some martial arts into which you could incorporate your superhero pose. And then it taught you battle IQ, which was kind of a competitive game. And I mean, I won the singles, but then we lost. We lost a group activity, but it was so fun, and it was, it was as complex as rock paper scissors. It seemed a little intimidating walking in there, but it was a really fun game that, for us, kind of topped it off. During the whole the war room thing earlier, we had also found out what our mutant power was, and we're not going to tell you, but that then informed the kind of battle stance that you would take in the danger room as well. So there were these kind of threads leading between the different areas. So that was kind of it. We had a bit more time to wander. We had a bit more time to take videos, which you're going to see interleaved amongst our rambling. But let's come back to, what did you think of the value for money and really just the experience overall? What would be your headline review of the X-Mansion training experience?
I think with the money that we spent on it, I had middling expectations. Like I'd seen the pictures, and if you do look closely, you can tell that they are physical pictures and not AI. It is really impressive, and just like a glance, you wouldn't be sure, but the attention to detail is incredible. What I thought we might end up with is one of those kind of Instagram type pop-up things. So it looks impressive, you've got these fun backdrops, and you're just kind of led into it like cattle. Stand there, do the pose, next one, do the pose, like stand over here, put Cerebro on, right next to it. I thought it was going to be a bit more like that. This is very much an immersive experience. You do have time to take those, but that is not the focus. Like they give you space to take that. We checked about permissions with taking video, taking pictures. They said anything goes. And they really allow for that. They don't make you feel self-conscious if you want to do like a meme pose on Wolverine's bed or anything like that. Or any of like your favorite characters, you want to take pictures with certain icons of theirs that you might find in the building. It was so impressive, like that extra step of, yet visually it was incredible, which I was expecting. But the price didn't give me the expectation of just how much we would get from it. And so I was just completely blown away by the quality that went into it. visually, but also the people that were there as well. It was just the cast, like you said, they just really took it up beyond.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you go to Disney World or Universal Studios. That's what I kept thinking. I feel like I'm in Disney World, but for comic book nerds. It was just amazing, like the level of dedication of those people. The driver of the bus that took us back to the parking lot at the end, he said, I love doing this because I'm creating a playground for adults who are children. And it was so true. I really didn't want to leave. I had the most lovely time. I felt such a connection to the people there. I genuinely felt emotional walking out of there. I was thinking, my God, I've been a fan of this franchise since I was a baby, basically. And I finally get to play in the X-Men mansion and like sit on Wolverine's bed. And the whole thing blew my mind. And like you say, it was a bargain. The ticket price was next to nothing. And I feel like we came out with not only amazing fanny packs, but also we came out with these envelopes. And we're not going to tell you what's in there, but they are some amazing goodies that we walked away with. I honestly feel like we walked out of that place with items that are worth 2 or 3 times the price of the tickets that we paid for. So, headline, how many stars out of 5 would you give the X-Mansion experience?
10.
10. I was also going to say 10 because the Roman numeral for 10 is X. I just could not rate this highly enough. Fantastic experience with lovely people, and you're going to have a great time whether you are the most hardcore X-Men nerd, there's something there for you, or just a beginner who's watched one of the movies or an episode of X-Men 97, or you just know someone who's an X-Men nerd and you're going to go along with them to watch them enjoy it. You would have a blast as well.
And I think just because going into this, I'm quite an anxious person and I like to know every amount of detail leading up to it beforehand. So just in case, the little Easter egg at the end of our video, if you're an anxious person, a few things that were worrying me that I can now share with you. So arriving there, make sure you're on the right side of the train station to get picked up. You will spot the bus that will take you up there. Don't worry about that. Walk up to the bus. Don't do anything with the parking. They're going to give you a parking pass. So don't worry about any of that. Just make sure you're on the right side of the train station. You will see the bus. Get the parking pass. Then you don't need to worry about anything. Once you get up there, it will be a group setting. We were divided up. There were a few of us, and we were divided into 3 separate groups. We were with another couple, and they were fantastic. They were really lovely. I don't know if they pair people based on vibes, but we were with another couple that we'd only just met that day. They were really sweet. They're a group of 4 and they all stay together doing their own group, and there was a group of 2 who were the other couple, and they had their 3rd group, just the 2 of them. But it was just a really nice vibe. And then we were very polite to each other in the bus on the way up. On the way back, we were all just jabbering away about how much we loved it, all of the exciting things that we saw, our favourite things, like the things that surprised us. It was a really nice bonding experience from that as well. I would say don't worry about shoes because, like Simon said, you'll get given sticky socks. So just dress comfortably. There is tons of time to get pictures taken. You're not going to get sweaty. It is all indoors. There isn't any food, really, and not really any drink. So if you wanted to take some water, but they will ask you to put your bags to one side when you get there, and you'll take your shoes off and you put them in like a side closet when you walk in there. I wonder what else people who are worried about stuff.
I would say just don't worry.
Just don't worry about it.
Chill out, take a breath, go have a fun time at the X-Mansion. Well, there are our pro tips for you to help you relax into what was an amazing experience for us. But thank you for watching our video. If you have done the X-Mansion experience, or if you would like to, and there were people from all over the country who flew in, literally from Arizona, from Maryland, from all over the place. Let us know. Are you excited about doing it? Have you done it? What did you think of the experience? I hope a bunch of people get to experience this because it was fantastic. Well, that is all we've got time for right now. We're hungry. Like Ellie said, there was no food. So we're going to go grab some dinner, but we hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, like and subscribe, and we will see you very soon, friends, on the next Nerd Safari.
Peace out, nerds.
To me, my X-Men.